So summer after I graduate college, 2004, I'm at Penn State Altoona. I got my degree in business with a focus in management and marketing, and I know what I want to do with my degree. I want to go play basketball. I didn't want to use my degree. I didn't want to get a regular job. I absolutely did not want to go into the professional work world. I want to go into the professional basketball world. The problem was I didn't know where to go, what to do, who was going to help me. I didn't have any agents. I didn't have anybody who had any information. There wasn't any information on the internet. Nothing was out there at this time for somebody trying to go play pro basketball. Zero information. So I decided, instead of just going back to Philly, where I would have been living in my parents' home and doing nothing, I decided I might as well just stay at college and I could just stay in my off-campus apartment and do nothing. So that summer I spent playing, we played in a local rec league, worked on my game, of course, worked out, messing with girls, doing the stuff that you do in college, just everything except having class. We still did everything else. But as that summer went on, it started to get boring because it wasn't really as many, it was a much fewer people out there. It's the summertime, it ain't really nothing going on. And everybody I knew was doing something. They was either back home trying to get started on their real life because they're out of college now, or the people I knew who were still in college, they were just enjoying their summer because they were still students. They still had another years of school to go. And then the people I knew who were already out of college, they were just living their regular lives. They don't really have summertime. So they just work all year round, unless you're a school teacher and you had the summer off. I didn't really have anything going. I was done doing what I had done, which was school, but I didn't know what was going to happen in my future, and I had no prospects for making my desired future happen. So I was pretty much a loser that whole summer right after I graduated from college. And then as I kept going in the summer, the money that I got for graduation, like my grandma and my parents gave me some money. But after that, I didn't really have nothing. I didn't have no money coming in. I didn't have no job. I ain't had no side hustles or nothing. This is like the early days of the internet. Actually, I had one side hustle. I used to sell stuff on eBay. That was like my only side hustle that I had. But for eating, I was eating like fish sticks, pizza. I was calling girls and having them bring food over when I ain't had no food. That's what I was doing the whole summer with a college degree in hand, because I was trying to do this ball thing, but I didn't know where to go, what to do. I went to 2 tryouts with this ABA team. And this is not the ABA back like in the Dr. J days when it was one of the best leagues in the world. This is ABA, like the minor league, semi-pro type league where you didn't even get paid a full-time salary. You might not even get paid at all. When most of the people playing in the league at that time, the way they had it structured, like you lived wherever you live, like at home with your family, and you had a full-time job. You just played in the ABA like as a side thing for the most part. Most of the teams work that way. So I went to a couple tryouts with them. They didn't even have that many players that came to their tryouts, but they kept telling me, come back to the next one, come to the next one, because we'll have more players. And they said that like twice. So I finally go to the 3rd one, and there's like 300 dudes at this tryout. And I didn't really show out at that tryout, so I didn't get invited to the next step or the next step. So that was the only thing that I did, pro basketball wise, if you even want to call that pro basketball, that summer. And finally I had to go back home because my cable got turned off. They turned the cable off in my apartment because I wasn't paying the bills. I ain't had no money to pay the bills. I barely had money to eat food. Then they turned the electricity off. And when they turn off your electricity, those of you who never experienced it, they don't come in your house or knock on your door. What they do is put this metal ring like around the electric box. They put that around the electric box, so then none of the electricity works. So I basically could only function in the daytime. And when that happened, and at that same time, I would wake up in the middle of the night paranoid, and I would pick up my cell phone. This is before smartphones, my cell phone, and I would just dial a number on there to see if it worked, just to make sure they didn't turn my phone off, because I wasn't paying that bill either. So finally, when they turned the electricity off, I'm like, all right, this ain't gonna work. I can't even, keep food fresh if I ain't got no electricity. So I called my dad, told him, yo, can you come out here and get me? He finally came out there and got me. Then I had to go back home, and I knew when I got back home, I was gonna have to face the music. Like my parents was gonna ask me, like, yo, you got a degree, what you gonna do with your life now? I mean, you ain't gonna be a grown man just living at home doing nothing. And I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't really have any plan or nothing concrete that was gonna help me get there. So I knew that was gonna be an uncomfortable conversation, and I was gonna have to face some harsh realities, some harsh truths that I had been trying to avoid, that I had successfully delayed for that whole summer after graduation. I knew I was gonna have to face them as soon as I got home. All of this stuff that I'm talking about here is gonna be covered in my next book. It's called Work on Your Game, if you couldn't guess, coming out February 22nd. I'm gonna give y'all more of these little vignettes. This is a story, I'm gonna call this little vignettes that are kind of snapshots to go in between the content of what's going to be in my book. Again, it's coming out February 22nd. It's called Work on Your Game. The links is down there. You want to read more of these articles, as I wrote all these out in articles. And there's a lot of information out there written wise. I haven't been doing a lot of video, which you probably know, but I'm gonna start doing some more videos. So stay tuned to this. Stay tuned to my website. Go to my website, dreallday.com, where there's a lot more of this written stuff as far as what's gonna be in my book. This is a book, so I'm doing a whole lot of written material, and that's that. Y'all catch me on the next one. Work on your game.